The world may not always seem to work in an orderly fashion, but we know that the universe has its own order and harmony.
That was by an unknown author, if
And
I'm
that
not
is what you
mistaken.
said. And I was wondering that, I thought that was so cool. Why did you, but you put it on your website, so it really means a lot if I'm following right.
It means a lot to me. Well, I think that there is just a natural order of things, a natural order of life. Things don't happen unless they're supposed to happen. I think that when you take the time to get organized, when we make that decision that we're going to organize our life or we're going to organize our space, it's an important decision. And I think that people, once that decision is made, they are able to create a story about themselves that is unbeatable.
What kind of story?
I don't know
what do you mean by that? What kind of story? What do you mean?
Well, I guess I can use myself as an example rather than using a client necessarily.
Okay.
I lost my husband a little over 4 years ago, and one of the things that I know is really important in that grief process is cleaning out stuff, because you have to do that. You can hang on to their clothes and their stuff and their things and their whatever for the rest of your life, but you're constantly living in the past when you do that, and that's not what Jim and I were ever about. We were about the present, and that's what we were about. And so it took me some time to be able to get rid of books. I just got rid of 400 books and 2 bookcases.
400? Oh my God! And was this all?
And I still have that many left.
Now, was this all Jim's? Was this you or both of you together?
Well, most of them were his. These were the business books and the esoteric books that I didn't have interest in, and I didn't just arbitrarily give them away. Okay, what I did do was Jim had 2 young men that he mentored, and they just think the world of him. And so I invited both of those men over to come and get the books and go through them and take them away, and they did. And they did, and it was freeing and sad, but still freeing. I mean, I just feel great, and so I did that, and it felt, I can't even explain what a liberating feeling it was. Okay. The other thing that I've done is on my own personal stuff, I'm a shoe freak, and I got rid of, shoes are very important to me. I would wear an old dress, but boy, I'll have a new pair of shoes on, I'm telling you. And so I got rid of 51 pair of shoes recently. Okay. 51? And that was another thing that was 51 pair. I mean, I'm telling you.
Wow. Are you a 5? What size?
Well, they're size 8.
Oh, good. Okay.
But they're gone. They're gone.
Oh, that's fine. I can't wear an 8. That's fine.
Right. They're gone. They're gone.
But that's
okay.
So
and that was really a great thing. In addition to that, another emotional attachment. People are attached emotionally to stuff, and we think our stuff is so important. Like we're going to be able to take it. You came in with nothing. You got to go out with nothing, and that's the truth of it. And so, I don't know why people want to hang on for dear life. They hang on for dear life, literally. And so I thought, you know what? I just need to step up to the plate here. Jim had a collection of vinyls, long playing records. If you remember.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Harry Belafonte, Elvis Presley, all these people. It was so good. It was so good.
Oh my God,
but I don't have. We no longer have a turntable or anything, right? So it just so happened that there's a young couple that lives next door to me, and they were born in the wrong time. I'm telling you, they have vinyls. They love that kind of stuff.
Oh my
so
God.
He came over, got the box of vinyls, and they have been playing them for their 4-month-old baby. So they have been doing Harry Belafonte and Elvis Presley and Neil Diamond and all these fun things. And the baby loves it. She just loves it. It's not just organizing or just packing things up or just getting rid of things. That's the physical aspect of it. The mental and spiritual healing that takes place as a result of letting go of those things.
And let me ask you something, because you're making a lot of good points and I want to just skim over it. A lot of the women I work with, it's the negative noise in the heads that says, no, 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 that weights us down. The messages that say, well, gee whiz, I can tell you that when I first got divorced and I went out on a date, I actually felt guilty. I felt like I was doing adultery or something. Because it's,
right.
even though I was divorced, and it was like I would have been divorced 4 years at the time. But I felt that because it was a negative noise. And what I'm hearing from you is so powerful for this audience. I mean, letting go of someone, especially that you loved so dearly. It's almost like when you were saying that, you said letting go, it was almost like I could feel like Jim up above with his energy saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. I don't know why that just came through for me. I love you.
That's wonderful. That's great. That's great. Interesting you should say that, because the neighbor next door, when she came over to, she brought back in that box were 2 awards that Jim had won, or been presented with from one of his mentors, and those awards were in that box. I didn't know they were in there. So she brought it back, but she said, Susie, she said, I got to tell you, she said, even though we didn't know him, I could feel him. She says, we can feel him in the room with us. And I said, I don't doubt that for 1 minute. I mean, oftentimes some people say that, no, when you're dead, you're dead. Well, that's not necessarily true. That's not true. In fact, I know it's not true. I mean, I hate to sound crazy, but I'm not. And I believe that he was there with them, because they were enjoying and imparting part of him to their little girl and to them. I mean, and that's great. And that's just one of those wonderful life things that we all experience from time to time, if we allow ourselves to experience it, I guess. Oftentimes people say, oh no, you can't talk weird and wonderful here. But, I talk weird and wonderful all the time.
And the truth is, and the beauty of that is that I know that when my dad passed away, it wasn't, like a husband, but I could tell you that my life had changed. It was so different after when Dad died. But I tell you, Dad is still with me. I mean, I know when he visits me, I can feel, and it's always on my left shoulder, and it's always like this energy here, because I ask him, because sometimes when I feel lost, when I'm like, are you sure, Dad, or can I really do this? Doubting myself, I can feel him, and he just comes and visits, and I get my messages, and I believe that
right.
We are all connected. I mean, look at why do we buy certain pieces of furniture, and why do we keep certain books? It's the memories, and in organizing. This might sound dramatic, and I know it's one of these Maria, what is her name, Kondo, but take pictures of, or scan and put the photos in your camera. That way you don't have all this stuff around, like scanning it and put it somewhere else. I mean, it's a memory, and it's beautiful. We don't have to have the clutter of it.
No, you don't have to have all that clutter and stuff around, and you get used to. You get used to having space, and that's a good feeling. The energy can flow. I don't know if you know anything about feng shui or not, but the only reason we ever get sick is because we've got too much energy or not enough. And if the energy is blocked, it can't flow. And if it can't flow, the body is going to get ill. That's what's going to happen. And so we're all responsible for that, and we need to take responsibility for it. And so I thought, in the last year, I've had a couple of weird health things come up, and I thought, what, maybe you just need to you're not moving on. You're getting blocked somehow, blocked in here, and it's manifesting in here,
right.
In the body. And so I'm ready to not have that. I just want to grow old and be a cute little old lady.
A lot
that's happy and having fun.
Well, a lot of times what I do is I tell myself, it's Jody, it is time to release that. I now release it. And I can feel it when I'm really ready and really saying, okay, I've had enough. And sometimes it takes me a while, because I want to, I kind of have to really, get kind of really uncomfortable. I say, Jody, are you ready to release this, or do you want to hold on to this? And what happens when I say, okay, I'm really, really ready. and willing to do whatever it is and stick to it consistently.
Well,
it's hard for me to part with it, Susie.
Well, well, maybe I'll be able to help you do that. Jim was an excellent teacher, and he taught me to teach. Okay, so we have all kinds of binders and things like that, and lots of educational self-help material.
Yes.
Okay, and and it's probably been maybe once a year for the last 4 years. I have gone through the same bookcase, or there's a filing cabinet in the closet of the office, and gotten rid of a lot of stuff. And I mean, it was painful. I felt like I was throwing him away at first.
Yeah.
And then I realized you only need 1 or 2 copies of this, Susie. You don't have to have the 10 or the 20 copies that he had. It's not, it's okay. It's okay. And I had to give myself permission to let go of it, and I had to do it in pieces, but I've got it really slimmed down. It's freeing. It is freeing. I wish I could tell you another word or another way to describe what I'm.
Go on, please. I'm so sorry. Please go on.
Well, we just create, we create files if that's what we need, or we create bins if we need bins, whatever that person is going to do. I'm not going to create a system for you that you won't do. I do have some of my clients don't want to do it themselves. They are never going to do it themselves. And so I will create a system that they will do. Okay, if I do this, will you do this? I don't make somebody do something that they're not going to do.
This is so wonderful, because a lot of the women I deal with, it's like, it's all about moving on. It's all about, and I got to tell you that I'm neat, I'm clean, I don't do clutter, but there's certain things that I keep on saying I'm going to get to, and I don't. And what it is, exactly what you said, it's me being afraid that if I don't have that with me, even though I don't even look at it, I'll forget it. And I'm giving away part of me, and it is scary at times. You're so right on target. What do you think about photographs, though? How do you get people to clean out photos?
Well, so this is what Jim and I had 36 years together. That's a lot of photos. It's that's a lot of photos. And so I had a cabinet thing in the front closet where I would just put the pictures in there, stash them, and just put them in. It didn't have any kind of organization. They were just in the drawer. So a few years ago, I even while Jim was still alive, I categorized them. And then after he died, I thought, this is crazy, and I never look at these pictures. So I have a friend of mine that's an IT guy, and I had him scan them all and put them in the computer. And so all the pictures are gone, and they're all in my computer. And and now I have that space to use that space for what it should be used for.
So you scanned all of your pictures, and he scanned them. And and you just,
it's like we have a family section, we got a Susie section, we got a Jim section, we got a, my sister's last name is Wilson, so we got the Wilsons, and we got the Woodbys, and we got all the people. So yeah, it's great. It's great because I can go in there and I can just click through those pictures anytime I want, and I would not sit and take them out if they were physically pictures still. I wouldn't do that.
You are getting me motivated.
So it works out really good.
You are really getting me motivated, because I have the ability to scan on my computer at home. I can easily do that.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I mean, you could work an hour at a time or 30 minutes at a time on it. It's not there's no rule about how this has got to be done by tomorrow. Right? There's no time limit on it. So, just say, I'm going to take an hour a week and do this, or an hour a day, whatever you can do. COVID has really opened a lot of people's eyes as to what they can live without.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And that means there's an abundance of shoes, an abundance of clothes, an abundance of albums, an abundance of books, an abundance of, all kinds of stuff. Right?
Does feng shui play into the organizing? I'm not
Absolutely.
familiar with it.
It is the first step of feng shui. You cannot, everything is energy, right?
Yes.
So if everything is energy and you have piles of crap on the floor and boxes and stuff and things, magazines and just whatever stuff, and you're blocking your energy, you're blocking your financial wealth, your personal health, your home, if you get the opportunity to come over to my house, you will feel what I'm talking about. You
Well,
will
I'd
feel the
like to.
minute you walk in the door.
Well, then I'm going to ask you for a date there, because
Okay,
I would
we'll
love
have
to.
a date. We'll have a date.
We will, because
Yeah, because
I would love to see this, because I'm not familiar with it.
yeah, feng shui is it's a 5,000 year art, fine art, Chinese art, and it's an amazing thing. Colors, the way something is, the shapes. It's about shapes. It's about cleaning up making room, allowing the chi, which is energy, the main chi, to flow properly. And if it flows right, your health will be better, your finances will be better. When Jim first got sick, okay, he was diagnosed right after Christmas of 2002, and started chemo in, I think it was February of 2003. And he did not die until 2016. So yeah, and he was in stage 4 then, in the beginning, okay? And he got out of that, and the first thing I did was I know a feng shui expert, and I had like a cabbie party, only we were doing feng shui. Everybody paid, I think, $20 or $30 or whatever, so that we could pay her, and she used our home as the guinea pig, or the example. Okay, and so everybody was able to take notes, and whatever. It was fabulous. I wish I could get her to do that again, but for some reason she's more of a bean counter than she is even though she's a feng shui expert, she's wonderful, and she has studied with I think his name is Master Joe something. I forget what his last name is, but anyway, and it's been a wonderful thing. And ever since then, our finances were healed. Jim he was out of stage 4. Nobody thought he would be able to do that. And he stayed that way. He didn't get really, really sick until the end of 2015. Okay. And so he was able to, even though it came back a little bit or whatever, he'd knock it out in a second. But I've had the house feng shui 3 times during this time span, because things change, and she always walks in our house and she said, I don't think I have one other client that does exactly what I tell them to do, except you guys. Because I know for a fact that it works, that it's something isn't around for 5,000 years that doesn't work. Right? At least that's what I feel.
Do you set up your house?
And so,
what does feng shui mean? Does it mean that you set up your house a certain way, like you have certain furniture or certain colors? Is that what it is?
Well, it's an art. It's an art form, and it's based on your birth date. So that it is what is it, specific to you, okay? And she does a whole workup. This gal does a whole workup on you. Like, we live in a townhome, and we are the corner unit of 9. In this building, there are 9 units, and we are 1/9 of that building, correct? So it's all set up according to that 1/9 of the building, Yeah, which, I mean, it's a fascinating art. I did a little bit of study in some years back, and I almost decided to do that instead of organized, but then I realized that this was much easier to make my point with people in a way that I don't make people wrong. Being disorganized is not wrong. It's just some people are better at certain things than others. That happens to be my strong suit. Okay. But on a computer, I got to write every little thing down, and I got to work it 15 times before I go, oh, that's what you meant. But that's my shortcoming, if you will. So anyway, feng shui is it's a good art. You might just do a little research on it and kind of get an idea of better it is the placement of things, what you have. It's usually getting rid of a lot more and keeping very little. It's very simple.
I mean, this is, you have so much to you. And I think the feng shui could be a whole another thing, and your experience and how you feel about it. And I am so excited because you are giving to other people such an important gift. I mean, it's the gift of letting go.
That's what it's about.
And that's a beautiful gift to give every day, because it is hard at times to let go. Have you found that sometimes people get very emotional? They might cry, they might get angry.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a gentleman client that I've worked with, I think about the last 18 years, more on than off. And it's not that he's sloppy. If anything, he is incredibly neat and everything around him except the office. He's not particularly neat with the office because that kind of stuff just bores the daylights out of him. Now, I can sit and cry with that man. That man will break down and cry. Like we go through, if we're looking right now, we're looking through some pictures and things and stuff, and he's thinking, I want my daughter to see this when I die, and I want her to know everything about me, or I want her to know me other than her dad, and he'll just break down and cry. Well, he'll have me crying in 2 minutes, because he feels, and that's very common, I think, with people that they. I mean, some people might get angry, but most of the time it's an emotional letting go too.
And what a gift, because I think that it's just so great talking with you and getting to know you a little bit better and hearing more about your gifts.